Hey everybody, Ash Wednesday, midweek chat, March 5th, it's Ash Wednesday. So, trying to find a little shelter from the wind. It's actually not that terrible right now, windy. Storm might be, I was hoping to actually do this in the snow, It's just a little bit, you can probably see it coming down. I can see it between me and the camera, anyway, we had our 7 o'clock Mass. We had 9 o'clock Liturgy of the Word with Ashes, getting ready for the noon in about an hour. And then probably a lot of people will come at the 6:15 tonight, Liturgy of the Word with Ashes, because they didn't come this morning because the snow and the slippery snow day. No, so we didn't have our school Mass today. Sounds like we kind of dodged a more severe storm and more voluminous snowfall. But I guess Menominee got quite a bit, and that's just up the pike 20 minutes, so my old home. So Ash Wednesday, do you have memories of Ash Wednesday? I always like to, I'm kind of a nostalgic person. I have, I was trying to, my memories of Ash Wednesday weren't necessarily positive. I've had a lot of failures at my attempts at fasting, do well at half the day, and then at night just kind of cave in. And this year, ironically, I don't feel that great, so I'm not really that hungry anyway. So maybe it'll be a successful fast, and it's the first year I don't have to fast because I'm over the age of when you're required to do it. So 18 to 59, you're supposed to fast one full meal, and then you can have 2 other meals, not adding up to as much as one full meal, and no snacking. That's the killer, right? No snacking. It's a day of the season, depending on what you do for a Lenten discipline. But it just, to me, I associate Ash Wednesday and Lent with like I'm reaching out for something. I'm like, oh, I can't do that. I'm reaching for the bag of chips, or I'm reaching for opening the refrigerator. I'm like, oh, that's right. We are so driven by habit, and so it's almost, I kind of laugh at myself. I just kind of do that. Like, oh, I'll do that. And a couple things I wanted to do to give up for Lent this year, and I right away, about after the 9 o'clock Mass, I was like, oh yeah, I want to. Oh, that's right, I can't do that anymore. So it's just like, oh, riddled with bad habits, I guess, huh? But you know what? Good habits are worth a lot, and Lent is a great time to think to yourself, what habit would I like to have? Would I like to have a habit of prayer? Would I like to have a habit of eating a great healthy meal in the morning? Would I like to have a habit of going to bed, earlier, or exercising in the morning? You know what? And some of these habits, it seems like it's harder to establish a good habit than a bad habit, because good habits are often not comfortable. They require some effort, like exercise or prayer, or but still they can become habits. Just think like this: going to Mass on Sunday, is that a habit for you and your family or not? If it is, you just do it because that's what you do, and it's not necessarily that hard. But if every week you're like, should we go to Mass today, honey? Then it's not a habit, and there's kind of more effort required. So anyway, the thing about Lent is it's 6 weeks, and the way our brain is and the way muscles build, 6 weeks is a key time to like build muscles and physical therapy and to start new habits. So maybe give that a thought. All for the glory of God. Don't forget about that. Lent isn't just one big self-improvement season. It's about growing deeper in faith, right? But good habits can kind of form the structure, the stage that we can walk on. If we become habitually more prayerful, then God can work in us, right? There's a little wind. The wind's supposed to be from the north, but anyway, it's kind of swirling. You know what? You can tell where I am, I bet, huh? Someone told me I should go there and eat. What is it? It's a ramen place, I guess, with that colored sign there. And I heard it's good. Okay, so my memory. So my earliest memory of Ash Wednesday is going to the Schwinn bicycle store on Ash Wednesday with Johnny, my friend Johnny, and his mom. I think he was getting a new bike, and it was just an errand. And I was happy to have him get a new bike. He had a nice bike, I think. and we had ashes on our forehead. And I remember his mom, who I really liked, and she said, "Johnny, wipe those ashes off your forehead. You don't want to show off to everybody." And I don't know how he received that, if he was thinking it was cool to have ashes and was disappointed that his mom was saying wipe them off. But I was conflicted. I was like, I didn't think I was trying to show off to everybody. I don't think. I don't actually remember. I just remember the event and how I reacted. And that became an issue. Should we wipe our ashes off, or shouldn't we wipe our ashes off? And the older I get, I'm like, just keep it on, you know. And it's a good witness to people. And I suppose there's a certain situation where there's situations where maybe it's not. Maybe it is in your heart, feels more humble to take it off. But I think it's a good passive witness, you know, just that you're a religious person, you believe in God. We need more of that in the world. Let people see it. And though people often say, well, it says right in the gospel, don't don't pray on the street corner so people see you praying. Don't do stuff so that people will see you. Do it because you know God sees you. And so you don't really need the external sign. Take it off. So that's interesting, right? And during our alms collection, it's important to me that we take an alms collection on our Ash Wednesday Mass, and whatever people throw in the basket goes to a charity. This year to Catholic Relief Services, whose funding was drastically cut because a lot of the Catholic Relief Service budget, like over half, comes from federal grants and subsidies, or not subsidies, commodities and cash grants. And that was suddenly stopped by the new administration. So they do life-saving work. And so we have the alms collection will go to Catholic Relief Services today. And also, ta-da! It's for Lent for Life. This is Operation Rice Bowl. I haven't put one of these together yet, but in case you're wondering, in case you're at church, we heard we have rice bowls. Where can I pick one up? And you say, well, these are not rice bowls. These are just flat sheets of cardboard. But what you do is you take them. There's some educational material inside. I haven't looked at it yet. I should have looked at it. It's just a good organization. I've given to Catholic Relief Services all my wage-earning life. And so a little calendar for Lent, and just a lot of nice things in here you can share with your families if you live with others, or read by yourself. And then you take these bowls, and let's see here. I think this is going to end up being embarrassing. There isn't. Okay, take these bowls, you fold it like that, and then there's a little notch. And you put that in there. I bet you it's the same thing on the other side. This notch, it's not just hard to see when you're folding it, but there's a notch there. So when you fold it, then the notch becomes visible. So, okay. Hey, let me buy that Snickers bar on the way to see my mom on Wausau. Wait a minute. What if I don't buy that Snickers bar and I save $2.19? Ooh, I can take that $2.19, put it in the rice bowl. So, and then we'll collect these after Lent. And 75% of this money goes right to Catholic Relief Services. 94% of what they collect goes right to help people in dire need internationally. It's the international outreach of the U.S. Bishop's Office. And then 25% CRS sends back to the diocese. So probably could go to a place like St. Francis Food Pantry or Catholic Charities of the diocese. Anyway, so there's your rice bowl. It wasn't hard. A not so clever person like me could figure it out. So that's good. But I brought it up because we take an alms collection. I always feel a little bad sticking a basket in front of somebody's. I think people sort of know that's part of church, and people don't always necessarily carry cash with them. But also, it also says in that gospel, when you give alms, which just says alms means money for the poor. When you give alms, don't let your right hand know what your left hand's doing. Don't do it in a way that people see you. And then here we're taking a collection where people see you. So those are always questions. But I think in the big picture that almsgiving is a corporate action that's encouraged in our tradition. Almsgiving, fasting, and prayer, the 3 great Lenten disciplines, and it goes to a good cause. So we do take up that collection. And if you don't have cash, you can always write some CRS or Catholic Relief, and we'll get it to the right spot. Okay, so that was one memory. Wipe off your ashes, Johnny. And I'll pair that. So our friend Pam Cernick, who's going to do our parish mission in the very end of March and beginning of April, she does a weekly or a daily reflection on Lent and Advent. If you'd like to get that, you can reach out to me. I can connect you so you can get on her email list. But they're lovely. They're lovely reflections. And today's, she said, in the second reading, there's a phrase that I know always just flies over my head, that we're supposed to be ambassadors for Christ, God working through us as he worked through Christ. It really is quite a claim and quite a charge, a responsibility to be an ambassador for Christ, represent the Lord. And you know, she's like, I don't know if she's made that as a means that we can be an ambassador for Christ, but it is. It's a witness, you know. But beyond whether we have ashes on our forehead or not, just helping people know that they're important, that they're loved, and that's being an ambassador for Christ. It's sort of been a theme, hasn't it, the last couple of weeks, and what I've picked out of the scriptures and my homilies, to be like God, to be more like Christ. We had Mickey's confirmation last Saturday, and in the ritual, one of the prayers was basically that this grace is given to you in confirmation so that you might be more like Christ. So that's the goal, friends. It's not simply to say, I'm such a sinner, I'm awful, save me. But I am a sinner, convert me, help me be more like Christ, because I want to give you glory with my life, God. So that's one memory. Before I forget, we have I Am Church coming up on March 16th. So, and we have some great volunteers for I Am Church. It's a Sunday afternoon it's an ecumenical Christian prayer service for people, geared toward people for whom traditional prayer services might not be that interesting or might not be that easy to understand or to follow along because they have intellectual disability. And so it's a great program. It's at Lake Street Methodist. We help out twice a year. And this year it'll be March 16th, 3 o'clock to 4:30. And Shirley Rosano's been a great, she makes sure that we have a team there, and some people are there to do everything, so thanks. And we have a good team. We probably have about 10 people that help out. You're welcome to join that team. We can always use more. And I bring that up because, now I don't remember why I brought it up, but it's just part of parish news, that we'll be doing that. And if you know anybody, honestly, I don't know that we really have people from the intellectually disabled community join us on the weekend. Occasionally I'll see someone, but not on a regular basis. So if you know anybody in the parish or outside the parish, you can let them know about this monthly opportunity. We help twice a year, but it happens every month. So I thought there was a reason I brought that up, maybe, but that's okay. And another memory I have, it's always a sad memory to me. It's a missed opportunity. But we learn from missed opportunities rather than hang our heads in shame. But it does make me feel bad every time I remember it. So I had as Ash Wednesday, I was doing real good at the fast. What helped me persevere in the fast was that after the 6 o'clock religious ed service, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna make this big chicken stir fry. You know, had all the ingredients and everything. So, and I had that's one thing. And then the other thing is in high school, 1 year behind me, there was a basketball player. He's very good shooter. We were on the same team together. His name was Brad. And he had a son who was at UW Stout where I was. And I was just thrilled to be done with the last Ash Wednesday service. I was ready to go make that chicken stir fry. And he said, Father, I was wondering if I could talk to you. And I was, like you want to talk for a while, and I was like, I said, man, I really want to. He told me who he was. I said, oh yeah, I know your dad. Your dad's a great guy. And I said, yeah, but I do want to talk to you, but I just gotta have this meal, and then could we talk Friday or tomorrow? And he said, yeah, sure. And we never met. I tried to follow up with emails, and he never responded to the emails. So it must have. Sometimes there's this time when maybe people need to connect with you, and I don't know. I just thought we could, but so there. I think I just saw that. Plus, I wasn't a very creative thinker. I think I just thought, well, I can either just be hungry for another hour, and I really was hungry, and or I can tell him, let's meet another day. But there's a third option I didn't think of at the time. It was like, hey, yeah, let's talk. Would you mind coming over to the rectory? I'm going to make a meal because I haven't eaten yet today, and you're happy. I'm just delighted if you'd share it with me, and we can talk while we're having dinner. I wonder if he would have. That would have been great, wouldn't it? It would have been a win-win situation, and I let it pass. So that's my unhappy Ash Wednesday memory. Let's see, what else we got here? Speaking of being hungry, here's an icon I picked up from Trinity Icon some years ago. There's Trinity. They have sort of contemporary icons. I like them. Not everybody does. This one isn't so much an icon. There's icons and then sort of traditional. I brought this one out because it's still covered in plastic. I didn't take it out, so if the snow gets on it, no problem. So you can kind of tell what that is, right? It's Jesus in the wilderness. That little hyena-looking thing is Satan saying, if you're the Son of God, turn this bread, or turn that stone you're holding into a loaf of bread because you're hungry. You've been fasting. And it said in the scriptures, Jesus was hungry, and the devil appeared to him. But I just love it. And you got those ravens. It reminds you of Van Gogh. It's kind of an ominous sign of death coming or hardship. And Jesus, face, you can just tell he's in his humanity, he's really suffering there. And the little devil's kind of just prancing around. So I wanted to show you that. I find the devil, maybe I'll preach on this weekend, I don't know. I find the devil not something I think about a lot, but I've been thinking about it a little bit more, just the presence of evil and the powers and principalities and the things we can't see that have influence in our world. And there's just a lot of bad things going on in our world, and I think, well, we really do need to try to banish evil and name it when we see it, and fight for basic things that we know are good. Feeding the hungry. That's why it makes me crazy that they stopped that aid. Feeding the hungry and reaching out to the lonely and making sure everybody. If there's God and we're His children, then we're all brothers and sisters, right? And just all the just getting along and peace. I mean, these basic things. There's so much that conspires against those things, it seems, these days. So, trying to form a new habit. I think again, I don't think about it a lot, but there is a desire in us to be more like Christ. And there is something that wants to stop that. It doesn't want us to be more like Christ. Call it the devil, call it human nature, call it, I don't know. But it's there. And, our faith tells us Christ is more powerful than that. So when you're trying to change, just notice all the little rationalizations that maybe enter your head. That, you don't have to do that. Why would you have to change? You're okay. Nobody's perfect. All these little things we tell ourselves or that friends tell us, well-intentioned friends. Beware. So let's see we also have these. These are our little black books. They're a little fancier now because it's the 25th anniversary of Little Black Book, so it's a reflection a day for Lent. People like these. The little purple ones that are more family, child friendly. But there's a whole bunch. So we're not getting a lot of people at the services today yet. So all these things we put out for Lent are just kind of sitting there. Hopefully 6:15 will be a big attendance and people can grab things, but also the first weekend in Lent coming up here. Okay. I got a few other things I wanted to... Read a nice... Oh, I'm saving the parish news to the end. I should have put it in there. So Francesca La Rosa, a liturgical music performer and composer, is going to do workshops. It's a joint sponsored by St. James and St. Olaf's. It's going to be at St. Olaf's all day Saturday. But then for the whole community, there's a free concert. So I'll be there. Hope you can come at 7 o'clock at St. Olaf's this Saturday. It's going to be Psalms, the song, her composition, her melodies that she puts to the Psalms in the Bible. And it's going to be beautiful. She's a joyful, spirited person. I've seen her on YouTube, and it'll be great. So that's this Saturday at 7 at St. Olaf's. OCIA, we're going to send them off to La Crosse on Sunday, and they will meet the bishop, and they will be, looks like we're going to have, it's hard to know, we're still kind of discerning a few things, but there are a few. We've had our steady group, and there's been others that have started the process in other parishes, and they've moved, and they would like to, I think, complete their initiation this Easter, but yet they're new to our group, and so I think we're going to make that work. But you might see some new faces you haven't seen. So Melissa, Vanessa, and Brady, good, really sincere, good folks. So. Rice Bowl, I Am Church, OCA Sending. Oh, we could use, so one of the great things about our parish mission when Pam comes to be with us, Pilgrims of Hope, I think she's calling it. We have before it, the talks will start at 6. Well, stay tuned. I think anyway, there's a half hour before when we gather and we eat soup and have a little bread or rolls and maybe some desserts. And it's always great. And a lot of people contribute. We've had one parishioner, Kessney, who's going to retire from being sort of the chief soupier. I was going to say the soup, the Seinfeld thing, the soup guy. So anyway, she was like, yeah, sure. And she's like, yeah, I've done this a long time. I think I'll get into other things. So we could use a more soup support. If anybody think, and I'm sure we have a lot of people that can make it, but I think it's someone maybe that coordinates it or makes sure that there's something every night and then tries to, or maybe there'll be a different model. But either way, we're going to need more support on people that can make soup for our soup suppers during our Lenten parish mission. So let us know. It's great sometimes you make these announcements and people are like, a lot of people are like, oh, I could. Sometimes it's just the thing that people are good at. It's like, yeah, I can do that. That's great. We have a couple of people that volunteer to do video streamers, or one for sure, and the other I put the bug in his head. Yeah, so that'd be good to give Landon and Don and Steve a little break sometime. 2 p.m. So there's a deal. I gotta remember this myself. Liturgy committee met, and they thought it'd be kind of fun as a parish to have a Lenten observance. So you may have different things you want to do at Lent, but that every day at 2 p.m. I think they just thought that was probably a good time. There's nothing symbolic about it. Every day at 2 p.m. to pray. Could be just a short prayer, could be something longer, but that everyone could pray at 2 o'clock. So if you have, a cell phone or something, or you just are attentive to your clock, at 2 o'clock, shout out a Hail Mary or an Our Father, or open the Scripture, or it's just sit and be present to the presence of God. Myriad ways to pray, but something at 2 o'clock. And know while you're doing it, you're not alone, that you're doing it with other folks from St. James. Yeah, so that'd be good. Someone emailed me today, Amanda, somebody, and Christine is more familiar with the Hallow app. I hear a lot of our parishioners talking about how it helps them in their spiritual life and their prayer life. It's an app on their smartphones called Hallow, and it's a Catholic-oriented thing, I believe. And anyway, I guess there's a way to set up like a group, like a St. James group, so you can kind of share things with each other. And sounded like a good idea. So Christine's on it, and she'll talk to this other Amanda and see what's involved and how you do it and all those things. So, and how it can be used. Okay, let's see. And if you need to have a premium membership or not, those kind of things. And we have, did I put those in my pocket or in my bag? So we have the books to pick up. We have a lot of stuff. I talked about having our hands empty so we can receive what the Lord wants to give us. And yet our hands are going to be full when we leave Ash Wednesday or first Sunday of Lent, because we have a lot of stuff. We have the rice bowl, we have the little prayer books, we have these intentions. I'll leave it, that's written on this side. So this is for, I won't say the name, but this is for someone battling pancreatic cancer and for the chemo treatments. And so we've been collecting these intentions, and then we take one. So this is mine, and they're in a basket, and they're folded up like this in a basket. And we'd ask you to take one, and maybe that's what you can do at 2:00 each day. Just a suggestion. But so there's all these things. I hope it's not overwhelming. But that's good. Okay, maybe that's about what I have today. I was thinking, the church smells bad. You know why? Because I'm burning all the palms today. But I love it. It's the smell of Ash Wednesday. Remember when at Menominee when I did that once, I asked the children, because we had the 7:00 mass, and then we burned the palms, and the children came for the school mass. And I said, "What is? You notice anything different about church today?" And the kid said, "Yeah, it smells like ham, smoked ham." So if you think it smells like ham, that's a pleasant smell. For me, it's a little grittier and not so pleasant. And you smell it in your head. So I took a little nap earlier, and it's like, I'm gonna get the smell in my bed now. I'll have to wash my sheets. But there's something about that I like for Ash Wednesday. Certainly, Ash Wednesday is about recognizing our personal sins and seeking conversion, a better way of life, more freedom in Christ, more desire to serve Him with our lives. It's also, I think, to recognize sins in the world that we see and to grieve them. And I was just appalled. The politics of it, maybe I don't understand, but these children and men and women, they don't have like food in Gaza, right? And there's a ceasefire, and so they're trying to get more aid started to flow, and they stopped it all. They said no more food going into Gaza. I'm just like, how can you? So there's some of the kids, and it's winter. Some of the kids, hopefully it's warming up now, getting into March. They're cold. They have no food, and people just sort of don't want them there. It's like it's their home, And so anyway, that just empathizing with that misery, I think, is an important part for me of Ash Wednesday too, and feeling it's beyond sadness. I don't know what the word is, but I think maybe I wrote in the bulletin this weekend. It almost makes me want, instead of wearing an ash on my head, to taste the ashes, because to taste the misery in the world, and sympathy, empathy, and solidarity, and when we have a chance, put something in our rice bowl, hope it gets to them. Know that our life is not just about me getting by, but it's our journey together. So that's something. I think I read something a couple of days ago about a woman who was single. Her best friend was her dog, and the dog died. She said, Ash Wednesday never meant as much to me because I felt the pain of loss, and then I'm hearing about the ashes, and I'm feeling the ashes, and it was actually helpful to her that she wasn't alone. That's a reality of our life together. So, okay, it's 30 minutes. I'll say goodbye. God bless. I have a couple things, but I can share them next time. Okay, I hope you have a very spirited Lent. And with us, if you're at St. James, as we journey together or wherever you are, God bless you all in this holy day of hopefully conversion and love of God. And don't look at your sins unless you know that God loves you first. Okay, it never stops. Bye now.